வணக்கம் நண்பர்களே. கிரிப்டோ கரன்சி நாட் பேன், சட்டப்பூர்வம் வடிவம் பெறுகிறது. NDTVயில் ஃபுல் நியூஸ் வந்திருக்கு. அதை பற்றி நம்ம இந்த வீடியோவில் முழுசாக பார்க்கலாம். ஃபஸ்ட்டு விஷயம் என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, கிரிப்டோ கரன்சி தடை கிடையாது. இரண்டாவது விஷயம், கிரிப்டோ கரன்சி இனிமேல் கிரிப்டோ அசட் என்று அழைக்கப்படும். அதாவது நாணயமாக அல்ல, சொத்தாக கருதப்படும். நம்ம இந்தியாவில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒன்லி இந்தியன் கரன்சி மட்டுமே லீகல் டெண்டர். அதாவது இந்தியன் கரன்சியை கொடுத்து மட்டுமே எந்த பொருளும் வாங்கலாம், விற்கலாம். இது மட்டும் நடக்கும். US டாலர் கொடுத்து கூட வாங்கிறது சட்டவிரோதம். US டாலர் நம்ம எக்ஸ்சேஞ்சில் மாற்றி தான் அதை கொடுத்து பொருள் வாங்க முடியும். அதனால் US டாலருக்கு அது லீகல் டெண்டர் கிடையாது. அதே போல் தான் கிரிப்டோ கரன்சி அப்படின்றத கிரிப்டோ அசட் அப்படின்னு மாற்றி அதுக்கும் நம்ம எந்த விதத்துலேயும் பொருள் வாங்கவோ விற்கவோ பயன்படுத்தக்கூடாது அப்படின்றது விரைவில் சட்டமாக வருது. அடுத்ததாக பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, கிரிப்டோ அசட் மற்றும் கிரிப்டோ எக்ஸ்சேஞ்சுகள் பங்கு வர்த்தகத்தை கட்டுப்படுத்தும் செபியின் கட்டுப்பாட்டின் கீழ் கொண்டு வரப்படுகிறது. இது ரொம்ப நல்ல விஷயம். செபியின் கட்டுப்பாட்டில் கொண்டு வரும்போது நிறைய எக்ஸ்சேஞ்சு எல்லாமே ஃபேக் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்சஸ் வர்றதுக்கான வாய்ப்புகள் குறைவு. எல்லாமே ஓரளவுக்கு கண்ட்ரோலில் வந்துடும். அதே போல் கிரிப்டோ அசட் நீங்கள் எவ்வளோ வச்சுருக்கீங்களோ அதோடைய மதிப்பை என்னென்ன வச்சுருக்கீங்க அப்படின்றத சமர்ப்பிக்கிறதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு கால அவகாசம் கண்டிப்பாக கொடுப்பாங்க. 6 மாதத்துலேருந்து 1 வருஷம் கொடுக்க வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது. அப்படியே 3 மாதம் அதை போலாம் சொன்னாலும் திரும்ப எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் பண்ணி ஓரளவுக்கு கொஞ்சம் கொண்டு போகிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது. ஏன்னா உடனடியாக இது நடக்கிற காரியம் இல்லை. அதனால் அதிக அளவுக்கு டைம் கொடுத்தா தான் இது ஃபுல்லாகவே முடிக்க முடியும். அதுக்கு அடுத்தபடியாக பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, கிரிப்டோ அசட்களை சட்டவிரோதமாக பயன்படுத்தக்கூடாது அப்படின்ற ஒரு விஷயமும் வந்திருக்கு. இது எல்லாமே தெளிவாக NDTV நியூஸில் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. மேலும் விரிவான தகவல்களுக்கு இந்த NDTV நியூஸை இதில் அட்டாச் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். இதை அவசியம் பாருங்கள். வீடியோ முழுசாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு கிரிப்டோ கரன்சி பற்றிய பயம் தெளியும். டோட்டலாக லீகலைஸ் வரப்போகுது. எல்லாரும் சந்தோஷமாக இருங்க, ஹாப்பியாக இருங்க. இந்த வீடியோவை முழுசாக பாருங்கள்.
Across to some breaking news with NDTV as of this moment. We've been keeping a very close tab on what the country's new crypto bill will be looking like, and now NDTV exclusively has for you details of the cabinet note that seems to suggest what the new crypto bill will be all about. We'll go across to Sunil Prabhu, who's bringing us all these details. But just to give you a hint over there, the big headline at the moment from those details is the fact that there will be no ban, but a regulation that will come in as for cryptocurrencies. It will not just be seen as currencies, but assets, and also that SEBI now will be regulating crypto. These are big news and headlines that is coming in on the crypto front here in the country. Let's cut across to Sunil Prabhu now, joining us for the very latest. Sunil, we were the first on NDTV to break it down for our viewers that it will not be a ban, it will be a regulation. Now you've picked up some exclusive cabinet note details, something that the Prime Minister has himself weighed on. I believe the headline here is not just about regulation, but what form of regulation, and SEBI regulating it is a very interesting thing there.
That's right, Sonal. I think there's been a huge transformation, and I think somewhere down the line, the Government of India and the Ministry of Finance has gone through those pros and cons. From the 11th of February, actually that note comes back to the early part of this year in January, when the cryptocurrency was planned to be banned completely. There's been a huge transformation and a big sea change. What is the big change? What hit the headlines is with that note from the government in terms of the winter session of bringing cryptocurrency. It's not going to be cryptocurrency, it's going to be called crypto assets. So that nomenclature, it may be the same, but it's going to be called not cryptocurrency, but crypto assets. Why is it not being called cryptocurrency? Because they are not allowing any bitcoins or any kind of crypto thing as a virtual currency being accepted. That's it's as a legal tender will not be accepted. That's a clear no. I think that's what even the Prime Minister in his deliberations in the meeting made it absolutely clear to ensure that doesn't take place. And in fact, for those related to terror or money laundering that is taking place, they're amending the act to ensure that the prevention of money laundering takes place. The next question is that all crypto assets, where the private ones or whatever, will be regulated and will be done through exchanges at different levels of the exchange. And as you rightly pointed out, this will be regulated by SEBI. There was another proposal about the currencies. Those things will be regulated by RBI, but a virtual currency, which was planned to be done, and the RBI Act was to be regulated, amended. That's, as a policy decision, been kept on hold. I think they will do it as a standalone for a virtual currency for RBI at a later stage. So that you can definitely expect a virtual currency soon, but it will take place at a different time. The next most important aspect will be a cutoff date. Suppose you, me, or anybody else who's dealing with bitcoins, they will have to come under the exchange. They will have to disclose this, and there will be a cutoff period. Whether it will be 90 days or 6 months, that's something that will be prescribed in the rules and the schedule when it ever is done. To ensure that people or crypto exchanges and investors do not fall prey and get into bad hands. There are huge penalties that have been given for crypto exchanges for any violation, from up to, in terms of monetary, up to 5 crores, from 5 crores to up to 20 crores, and including imprisonment of 1 and 1.5 years. So these are the basic counters. The cabinet is expected to meet early next week, where it will give a finality to it, and then of course ultimately it's a cabinet decision which will be done. But these are some of the broad changes that we are picking up that have taken place, and clearly a middle path has been followed, not an outright ban, as I said, from what was envisaged in early of this year. And as Nirmala Sitharaman, as the finance minister herself explained on the floor of the House, there have been a lot of developments, and that's the reason why they now want to regulate it and hopefully at some stage or the other bring it under the tax.
But you said Italy ready to be signed next week, Sunil. That's big news. That means there is potential that this new bill could be tabled in this session itself.
It will 100% be tabled in this session. I think that commitment is clear from the Government of India's point of view. It's been quite some time, and this time around they are determined. And as I said, early next week, the Cabinet will meet, and hopefully as soon as the Cabinet gives its clearance, the Minister would like to introduce that bill in the floor of the House.
Right. One more clarification, which is perhaps another big headline coming out of here, Sunil, is the fact that not as currency, but seen as assets over here. What about taxation, which was a huge concern for several lawmakers, which was picked up in Parliament? Any news on that?
Well, as of now, it's too early. So first of all, this is an unregulated market. We do not, it is all, there is no definitive answer to how much people have in terms of cryptocurrency, what's the real value. So I think the Revenue Department will first wait to see what happens. Ultimately, like any stock exchange or any other modus operandi, Government of India will definitely wanted to bring it under the tax net in terms of how they go about it. But these are early days at this stage. But definitely something that the Finance Minister and the Revenue Department
Sunil, just a bit of clarification. When they talk about the crypto exchanges in India, if you could expand on that. What about people who are invested in private wallets? What about people who are invested in exchanges abroad? Will they have to bring their tokens here in Indian exchanges so that it can be regulated by SEBI?
Yes, definitely. If they are Indian citizens, they will have to bring it into India. There's no question about it, because then because this can be used for various other activities and can fall into prey, as has been pointed out consistently by the government through caution. So all that will have to be brought in. There's no question of having assets abroad in terms of cryptocurrency and not having it in India. So that will all have to be regulated within India, if you're an Indian citizen.
All right. So crypto, no ban, but regulation. Crypto not as a currency, but as an asset. no putting money in private wallets, which government has no sort of oversight over, or perhaps some control over, but actually in Indian exchanges, which will be regulated by SEBI. And then you say the important point is that if this is not followed, there will be a cut-off date for you to transfer all your assets to Indian exchanges. And if you do not follow that, there is a huge penalty that goes into imprisonment as well. That's right.
It will vary from person to person for those who are found violating and various exchanges. And as I said also, it's just not SEBI, it's also RBI. RBI will look at the currency aspect to it. But they are not, and I repeat, they are not legitimizing this virtual currency. This will not be a legal tender. This will not be a currency note. That will not be accepted. But at a later stage, RBI definitely for its virtual currency, hopefully there will be a separate proposal, and that day is not far away when India will also get a virtual digital currency.
We leave it there for the moment, but there's really so much to talk about. This is the paradigm. Leave it there for the moment, but there's really so much to talk about. This is the paradigm shift in which India looks at crypto, and great to have all that information right here on NDTV First. Thanks so much, Sunil, for joining us.